美国的那些政客，无论他们怎么成天撒谎，只要把谎言重复1000遍，就可以变成真理。他们毫无任何的愧疚感和耻辱感。所以我想，是不是美国人可以享有撒谎的自由，而中国人民不享有说真话的自由呢？
你不能剥夺我们的权利！一打着疫情的旗号，你不叫我们抗击，不对的。
我们这个宣讲，我们也接着历史的讲，我们想解决法律知识，是不是？
你们有啥害怕的了？怕公民监督有啥了？我
你这说我可就不骗了。
我这个监督嘛，你们怕我了？
你这个就是因
为我们有抗击的
监督，我也不怕。你说
拖到隔离一噻。
小区里面所有人都是隔离吗？
他不是的，他就是垃圾桶，他已经确诊了3例了，他那所有的车子都是过来拖人的，现在已经。
5点钟去个的啊，9点钟回来了，去个晃4个小时接单，我自己都笑了。流水。
你看现在那个保安都把这些简历再往外扔了，你看到没有？我觉得如果是这种情况的话，你觉得还有必要给他扔的话，还不如就不要给他了，你说呢？你看看他可能不可能这样。
抖音。 看看啊，这周下的水能不能喝啊？就是就像让一层油乎的，像沥青似的，这才几个月。这就是自来水公司金沙供水，我现在在网上想要投诉他，就连这个供水的地址都查不出来，根本没有这个公司。
昨天天太黑了，然后好像是今天早上凌晨的时候才又开始洗。
掉来的，他在江山的，在天上掉来的，天上那个落下来的，落人家的。这车，天，爆大车，我操！
今天是2020年5月8日，国家青网局门口，风雨无阻，生命不止，维权不息。
昨天已经过去，所有的伤心和烦恼已离去。你要相信明天的天空会更蔚蓝。
Denmark has announced a timeline for ending its lockdown restrictions. Some are loosening today, including professional sports teams can resume training. Shops will be allowed to reopen on Monday, and a week later, bars and restaurants can serve customers inside, and secondary school pupils can return to classrooms.
Afternoon, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reached out to Chinese President Xi Jinping in an apparent move to normalize trade ties.
The North state-run Korean Central News Agency reported Friday that Kim has sent a verbal message to Chinese President Xi Jinping, lauding Beijing's success in containing the spread of the virus. The Korea International Trade Association shows North Korea's trade dependence on China reached an all-time high.
The Bank of England today is sketching out that the pandemic and the shutdown have plunged the UK economy into the sharpest downturn in history, a far worse start to a recession than the financial crisis over a decade ago, than any recession ever. Indeed, the Bank of England sees unemployment more than doubling, up 1.5 million to rates not seen since the mid-1990s, and taking 2 years to then fall back.
Let's run through the stages National Cabinet has agreed to. First is stage 1. Gatherings up to 10 people are allowed. Retail stores can open. Cafes and restaurants, schools and childcare centres will also be open. Fast forward 4 weeks and then you can move on to stage 2. Gatherings can increase to 20 people. Cinemas, galleries, museums, zoos can open. Move on again 4 weeks. Stage 3, gatherings up to 100 people. That includes cafes and restaurants. Food courts can reopen and interstate travel could resume.
But we've got to get out from under the doona at some time, and if not now, then when?
And it could have been stopped at the point. It could have been stopped right at the source, and it would have been easy to do, but something happened. Something happened. Either they made a terrible mistake, probably it was incompetent, somebody was stupid, and they didn't do the job that they should have done. It's too bad.
It's very concerning to me when China went to build these artificial islands, and President Xi told President Obama that they would never be militarized, and then quickly they were. What did we learn about the COVID? When the Chinese found out about what was moving in Wuhan, what did they do? They lied to the world, and then they tried to corner the market and store as much PPE as they could. They use it as leverage to other nations as well. Watching what Japan is doing, the subsidizing of moving companies back out of mainland China into Japan. That China will not have control over different industries. It's interesting to me that China owns a food processing plant in South Dakota. Is that another challenge that we have for the future when it comes to our food supply? These are all questions that should be asked, investigated, and prepare America that we can handle anything in the future.
And this is a special announcement. I want to make sure Chinese intelligence, state security, guys in Beijing, everybody's following us in the Wu Mao 50 Cent Army on Saturday. Yes, for 2 solid hours, we're going to have the voices of the Chinese people. Most of them coming to us from the mainland. I've been working on this one for a while. They're going to tell personal stories. They're going to tell personal stories, and guess what, about cities that are not Wuhan and what it was like there. The CCP are a group of devils, okay? The President of the United States called you out yesterday. I don't want to see that little ambassador wandering around doing his op-eds in the Washington Post and wandering around, yammering around like a chihuahua, right? Yammering around, barking. Didn't we send? I think we sent the Japanese guys home after they, slow rolled us on the treaty, right? I don't know why these guys are even here now.
Well, it's interesting. The East Asia desk for the State Department put out a statement. Remember, Pottinger gave that very good speech in Mandarin. And they said, last night, the Washington Post carried Chinese Ambassador Qui's op-ed because that's what freedom of the press looks like. Also, last night, Matt Pottinger's speech on Weibo disappeared within 5 minutes because that's what censorship looks like. Even the State Department's getting on board.
We're going to have Michael Horowitz on again tomorrow, I think, right, Fish? Tomorrow we're going to have Michael Horowitz on about the firewall, us taking down the firewall, the Berlin Wall. But they should know, every day people are blowing through this. They thirst for information because they understand the firewall's got to come down first before their liberation actually commences, right? This is this whole battle. Pottinger's thing on the May 4th thing was absolutely magnificent and spoken in perfect Mandarin. The one thing I got back is people said, hey, this guy is a player. His Mandarin. And I'll tell you another thing, Jack Posobiec. I always get compliments about Posobiec's Mandarin. And so that's a big deal. The understanding and the discipline it takes to learn and to speak precisely. And it's very powerful. But on Saturday, another 2-hour special, Descent into Hell Part 4. The other Chinese cities. Also, we got so many other stories when we're talking about the brutality against the religious thing. Remember, the young people over in China, and you're seeing this here in the United States, I think people are going to appreciate, you're going to have a great appreciation for just doing the simple things again, going to a ball game, walking around the neighborhood. You understand that what freedom's really about. And I got to tell you, the stories I hear all the time from these people in China, they thirst for a spiritual, not just Christianity, but other, the spiritual Buddhism, etc. They thirst for something different than the atheistic, materialistic communism that it is, which is not communism, because the guys are the wealthiest guys in the world. This totalitarian kind of slave mentality. They're slaves. In an atheistic, materialistic, stripped of any kind of human dignity, stripped of any any ability to kind of yearn for any kind of spiritual development. That's what's going to bring them down.
中国未来就是我一直说的正道主义。中国人要想没有共产党的新中国以后，第一个要有信仰啊，一个没有信仰的民族啊，这个跟这个咱们这个动物世界，或者说就我们对面的这个山林里边，这个也没有任何两样的，因为你没有信仰就没有底线啊。道德是人，就人和狗和畜生的分别，中国人连道德都没了啊，这就是很可怕的。先建立，就是为啥中国教育重要，信仰和道德、法治。你这个人和动物的不同，不就有法治、有规矩吗？有行为标准吗？啊，是不是？这是根本的差距嘛？这些东西得先建，不建的话没有的。另外一个跟国际的关系，你这现在中国人，你老是觉得我14亿人啊，就像当年的奥巴马总统说，怎么看待中国现在？他说就像一个过着好的一个大家庭世界，哇，又一雷迪妹，你已经仨雷迪妹了，6台劳斯莱斯了。当一个大屋子里边过着好的，突然来个大猩猩，他也不管你怎么着，往那一坐，啊，他想干啥就干啥，这叫不遵守规则啊！就是这个世界上也有规则，个人要有道德，这是一个根本。那么跟国际的关系如何相处？当你觉得你块大的时候，你也得遵守一个规则啊，那就是中国人要成为世界上受尊敬的、有信仰的、有法治的。还更重要的一个，要尊重国际秩序，和世界人民共处的啊，这么样的一个民族才可怕，才可信。所以说，建立好一个没有共产党的新中国，必须在这几个方面：信仰、道德、法治、国际关系、民族、国家、人民形象的建设。